Thank you. Senator Cornyn.
Mr. Peterson, let me just ask as a preliminary question. Well, let me make a brief statement before I do that. I personally believe that legal immigration has been one of the great secrets to our success as a country. By one account, since 1783 to 2019, we've had 96 million people legally immigrate to the United States, and we're better off for it. Illegal immigration is another matter, in my view. And as you know, many people showing up at the border these days are claiming asylum. But as an immigration attorney, can you help us with a figure here? How many claimants of asylum who actually appear in front of an immigration judge get that claim validated?
Thank you, Ranking Member Cornyn. Immigration law is like physicians. We subspecialize, and I specialize in high-skilled physician immigration. So I don't have that number, but I'm happy to provide it to you.
Well, I think it's somewhere around 85 to 90% do not qualify. But the problem is because of the huge backlogs and the fact that the Biden administration releases people into the interior of the United States. Some of them show up in Chicago. Some of them, they go to all four corners of the United States. And Sheriff, if you're still with us, I'm referring to your written statement here when you say that there are no consequences for unlawfully entering the United States. Could you explain what you mean by that?
From
We can hear you now.
It's the fact that, okay, good. They're not prosecuting cases. We're not following the rule of law. When there's no consequences, they're going to keep coming. And that's the issue. You know, here at the checkpoint, they just stopped the truck tractor with 115 in the trailer, 115 occupants, which, you know, you can see the same scenario that occurred in San Antonio with those 53. Prior to that, 12 months ago, we had 73 in the trailer, and the federal guidelines were not met. So that particular driver, we picked them up and prosecuted them ourselves. You know, we're kind of educating the criminals as to what they can get away with. And I know this is about health care. I get that. But until we secure the border, until we shut that border down and start peeling off, I know that they talked about immigration. The issue is that not everyone is going to come in and stay in stash houses like they do here in the Rio Grande Valley sector, you know, where you have 200 people in a stash house. That's definitely a health crisis, okay? When we pick up bodies, we test them for COVID. We have 20% of them tested for COVID. And those bodies are walking in with a group. So the rest of them get away. We got 20% of COVID. Guess what? That group is going into the interior of the United States. Until we secure this border, Brooks County is a Democratic county. I'm a Democratic sheriff. And it's just absurd how we're trying to mix things together here. For instance, we have sexual assault cases, females in the brush. Okay, so what I do, I work with immigration attorneys. I sign off on their waiver, and they stay in the United States. Okay, the fact is, we're not going to be able to prosecute anyone because they're not going to actually say, okay, this is the person that did it. Well, we work along closely with Border Patrol and their intel group. You know, and talking about narcotics and being seized in the port of entry, it's simple. Those are actual narcotics that you can count. And I know this because when I did my covert operations with DEA and Customs back then, we used to cross, and they're still doing it. They're using the river. Those are amounts that you can't count on. You don't count those. It's just like the getaways. You don't know how many getaways are fleeing. I don't understand how we're mixing this whole operation into immigration. I have a friend of mine that's been waiting for 20 years to get his citizenship. 20 years. You know what? All this is about policy. Work on policy. You know, reach over the aisle and work on policy. Fix it, and we won't have these freaking conversations. This is horrible. What I've just been listening is horrible. I don't get this. I'm a Democrat, and here we are going through all these issues, these green card issues, the same thing. Green card, why does it take 20 years to become a citizen of the United States. Why does it take so long to get a green card? You know, we're talking about health issues. We don't have a hospital in Brooks County. We have 3 different hospitals that Border Patrol work with and we work with. They're out of Kingsville, which is 30 minutes away, in Corpus Christi. That's, you know, we cannot mix this together. We have to decipher this. We have to reach over the aisle and get this thing fixed. I mean, it's frustrating for all the sheriffs along the Southwest corridor, and I think y'all understand how frustrated I am because I've been dealing with this since 2009. And I'm yet to have any Democrat come to my office, sit down so I can show them all the books I got of all the dead bodies, all the parents, all the family members that come to my office crying because they lost their loved ones 10 years ago. I'm sorry. I think I went off a little bit. This is frustrating. It just bothers me what I'm listening to. It's not, we need to divide this issue. We need to separate. I get it. You know, we're all immigrants. I get that. So was I. So my grandparents. So, but it's the right way to do it. There's a right way to do it. And I think everyone ought to just get together and put some common sense into this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.